Do you see any shift at all inside India in terms of Modi's, what had been his particularly toxic relationship with Muslim minorities?
As a matter of fact, the BJP, the ruling party that Mr. Modi leads, is trying an outreach program in the last few months in India's most populous state of Uttar Pradesh with the Muslim community. In fact, a segment of the Muslim community that's known as the Pasmanda Muslims. And I'd be very intrigued to see actually what comes out as a result of that. But I want to say a couple of points about this democracy debate. Looking at that press meet where both Biden and Modi were asked about India's record on democracy and rights for minorities, I thought there were lessons for both sides. I think the lesson for the Modi government is you don't like this question. You get prickly about it. You think it's biased Western media stereotyping. But the evidence tells you you can't ignore this question. So you have to find a way to engage with this question. You have to find a way to address this criticism if you think it's unfounded. You can't just say, I'm just going to evade this, and this is an area I'm not going to go into, because the op-eds and the questions and the journalists and even 70 lawmakers of America are going to bring it up with you. So don't evade the question.
And by the way, my understanding, Barkha, is that Indian journalists will bring it up too.
Some Indian journalists will, not all. Some will and some do. and the point is, it isn't going away. But for critics of the Modi government in America, some in the Western media, some in the Democratic Party, or maybe even among the Republicans, I would say that Indians, even those who do not vote for Modi, tend to close ranks if they think a Western power is being all judgy. It may come from our history of being a colonized nation. It may come from us saying, hey, are 70 lawmakers in India's parliament going to write a letter to Modi saying, please remember to tell Biden about gun violence. Please remember to tell Biden about the abortion rights that women don't have. I guess the point I'm trying to make is there are messages for both sides. For the critics in America, let India battle this out. It'll probably be more productive. Don't be judgy. Talk to us as an equal. For the Modi government, you can't hide from this question. You need to start engaging with it. It's a real question, and you have to engage with the criticism that is brought to your door on this question.
I mean, Modi did say, of course, that democracy is in India's DNA. And I understand it's a very useful talking point when addressing Congress. But how much do you think India's democracy as a set of values is actually essential to what Modi is trying to do, to the legacy he's trying to build?
It's a very interesting question, and I may sort of offer a counterintuitive answer, because I speak neither as a supporter nor a critic, but I would hope as a dispassionate observer. I believe that Modi's image to him in the world is important. I believe that the Prime Minister comes from a somewhat bruised history. Remember, this was the same leader who was once denied a visa by the Americans.
In the United States, absolutely.
Yeah, and not able to enter when he was Gujarat Chief Minister for nearly a decade. It matters to him to be seen as what in Hindi we call Vishwa Guru, a leader of the world, a leader on the world stage. And therefore, I think it matters to him. And I think he also feels that the Western press stereotypes him, as does some of the liberal press in India. He's always believed that. But I think that Modi's sense of his own legacy comes from actually winning elections. Modi is who he is and as powerful as he is because he wins elections. And the day so in some ways, Modi's brand lies in democracy. Because he's not Putin, he hasn't made himself president, and he's not Xi Jinping. He is the elected leader of a vibrant democracy. Yes, you can argue that what happens between elections, not at elections. I believe our elections are absolutely democratic. And some might argue even more so than the American process, where a section of the polity refuses to accept election results in the US. But in India, the concerns are what happens between elections. Is there a way of deepening democracy when it comes to a free press? Is there a way of deepening democracy when it comes to losing archaic laws like putting away people for sedition? That's where we must focus. But I think Modi and his fans and his supporters cannot disassociate themselves from the democracy question, because Prime Minister Modi is as powerful as he is because Indians vote for him.